Hello, we recently purchased another action camera from Amazon, and here it is. This video will consist of 3 parts. The first part is going to be unboxing and showing you what the camera looks like. The second part will be showing you the accessories and also the menu settings and video settings on the camera. And the third part at the end will consist of showing you some sample video footage recorded with this camera. So if you would just like to see what the footage looks like when we're recording videos and taking pictures with this camera, feel free to skip to the last part of this video. So this is a cheap action camera that we bought for a little over $30 all in all on Amazon. And for $30, maybe my expectations are not very high, but I'm very excited to see what kind of value there is for this a little bit more than $30 action camera. So again, if you would like to just see some sample footage and videos, sample videos and photos, feel free to skip to the last part of this video. But for now, we're just going to take it out of the box, see the accessories, and we'll see what kind of settings are included for videos and photos. Let's get started. I really like the design here. So this is the, don't know how to pronounce it, maybe Livo. I'm just going to say Livo. The Livo SC500 cheap, budget-friendly action camera that we recently purchased on Amazon. And actually, at the time that I'm recording this video, I went to take a screenshot of the product on Amazon, and it says currently unavailable. So if you're interested in purchasing this camera, maybe, hopefully, if you'd like to just wait a little bit, maybe maybe the product will come back on Amazon, but couldn't find it right now. It says currently unavailable. The Livo SC500 that we bought for a little over $30. Let's take a look. I like the design. I really like, I should say I just like the way this box looks. Blue colors, the ocean. Very relaxing. Capture life's best moments, and apparently there's an application that you can also download from this company. What's included? So you have your underwater housing, some standard accessories that are usually included, a cleaning cloth, that's very nice, USB cable for transferring your footage, that's absolutely necessary, and charging the camera, of course. Okay, so let's just see. Let's just see if there's anything else that we'd like to point out here. And we should, because there's some specifications listed here. You have a 2-inch screen, video resolution 4K at 30 frames per second, 2.7K at 30 frames per second. My favorite video setting, 1080p, 60 frames per second. And also a little bit lower resolution, 720p at 120 frames per second. The photo feature on these cameras is usually not that great, but we're going to see if we're surprised by that. Just keep in mind that you're really buying this to make videos, not necessarily to replace one of your cameras. But we'll see how good the photos are. Battery, you should buy a micro SD memory card. It's on all the cameras I bought, they're not included, so you really do need a memory card to store your footage. Whatever photos and videos you're taking, you need to store them on the camera, so you need a separate micro SD card. Separate purchase up to 64 gigabytes it will accept. I usually buy one for 32 gigabytes. Let me show you what that looks like. You will need a micro SD memory card. This is what it looks like. Yes, it is very, very small. Maybe for around $9 I purchased this one. 32 gigabytes. You will need this. It's usually not included with these cameras. This will be a separate purchase so that you can store the footage on your camera, or else there's no built-in memory here. So without a memory card, you can't really use this camera to make videos. Micro SD memory card, separate purchase. So, as we were saying, some specifications are listed here. Very excited to try out some different resolution settings, make some videos so that you can see and decide for yourself if you think the quality is good. Again, this is the Livo SC500, cheap budget friendly action camera that we recently purchased on Amazon. Currently unavailable right when I'm making this video, but if you'd like to purchase it, hopefully it'll be available at some point. So here you go, you have your accessories and you have your camera. Let's just put the box over here and let's take a look at the camera and accessories, and we can turn it on and start using it so that you can just see what it looks like if you're maybe thinking about shopping around for action cameras. Here it is in the underwater housing. Not going to guarantee that it's going to make the camera completely waterproof, but here it is. It's nice to have to protect you from the elements. There I am in the background. Livo SC500 advertises itself as being able to record 4K resolution, 4K quality video. We'll see. Before I talk about the accessories, let's just open the camera, take it out of the underwater housing. It's pretty easy to take it out usually. Again, I'm not going to guarantee that it's waterproof, but if it's drizzling a little bit, maybe raining a little bit, it'll definitely increase the chances that your camera will not be damaged if it's in the underwater housing. So here you go. Here's the Livo cheap budget friendly action camera. SC500. Okay, here's your for your USB cable to connect to your computer to transfer footage from your camera to your computer and to charge the camera. Here's where your micro SD card is going to go. Let's just show you right now how to insert the memory card. There's a little diagram right here. Now we're just going to insert it here, and there's going to be a little spring, so you're going to have to press with some kind of thin metal object, and you're going to hear a click. Oh, right, there's a spring. So now that we've inserted it correctly, I hope, all you have to do is press and you should hear a clicking sound. There's your clicking sound, so hopefully it worked. We're going to see momentarily when we turn on the camera. This is where your battery is going to go. Hopefully the battery is... apologize. Hopefully the battery is already in here, because otherwise I'm just a little bit worried that I almost got it. Okay, we'll see if the battery is included, because I'm just having trouble taking off this cover, but let's just see if the battery is included. Okay, there we go. The battery is already included. That's very good. You can just put this back now. Okay. Wow. I'm very sorry. I shouldn't have... Apologize. I shouldn't have taken out the... There we go. The battery cover off. Here's the Livo action camera. Let's actually just talk about the camera first before we look at the accessories. A bunch of standard accessories are usually included. Mounts for your helmet, bicycle, different things, different straps if you want to attach the camera. But really, I mean, attach the camera to different items as you're recording. But really, I usually just like to hold it like this, or hold it while it's in the underwater housing. Like this, just hold it myself. But really, for your whatever you're doing, might be different. So just please understand that I usually don't use these accessories, so we'll just go through them very quickly towards the end. Let's see if there's any battery life in this camera. Uh-oh, please. Hopefully there's battery life. Huh. Interesting. This camera might not be charged, which is actually my 10th camera and the first time this has ever happened. It's not charged. That means we might have to come back in a few minutes after charging the camera. Or, you know, let's just hope that it's not broken. Fine, let's look at the accessories first. Don't know why it wasn't charged. Okay, here's some mounts, and here's some different accessories that you can use to clip your camera. This is a nice little clip right here. I'm just going to go through these very quickly. I usually don't use these. They're kind of standard for these cameras. So, we have an extra battery. I think this is a good opportunity to try the extra battery. Maybe it's charged, so we can start using this camera. Some things that are usually standard with these cameras. We'll just go through them very quickly. Mounts, accessories, I'm not really going to use these. Some ties, that's also very cool. What is not always included but is very much appreciated in this case is a cleaning cloth for cleaning your lens. That's always nice to see. And last but not least, you have the USB cable, which you will use to transfer footage from your camera to your computer and also to charge your camera. You will always need a USB cable, otherwise there's really no way for you to transfer the footage unless maybe you have some kind of Wi-Fi or application. But really you do want to connect it so that you can, of course, charge your camera. Okay, that's the USB cable. It'll be connected to your camera right here. And you have this cool manual for just some showing you how to use the camera or the buttons, different features, I guess, right, specifications. But of course, I'm not going to read this because I've used a lot of action cameras, so I just don't think, maybe for me it's not necessary right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to insert this extra battery, hoping that maybe there is some battery life so that we can just don't have to come back in a few minutes. We can actually just start using it right now. Okay, just drop that, of course. Okay, so let's take out the battery. We're going to try another battery, the one that came with the camera. Just line it up right here. There it is. Yep, perfect. Battery cover, and we're ready to go. Let's see what happens when we click the power button. Please let there be some battery life here. Please. Yes, success. The extra battery is somewhat charged, so thank you very much to this company for doing that. Okay, would you like to format the memory card? Yes, let's do that. Okay, so always best to do that when you insert a memory card that's already been used. You will want to format, and it seems to give you that option. Okay, it just disappeared. Okay, this is all okay. This is all okay. I just want to make sure nothing is in the way. We can just make this video. Okay, so you see you have your battery indicator right here. This is what happened? Oh, sorry, went to sleep mode. I mean screensaver mode. Okay, let me just... Okay, so now here we have our camera that's currently set to 1080p, 30 frames per second. Okay, sorry, just 1 second. Okay. Sorry, there's a little bit of a glare. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are just... Okay, so now we are ready to talk about this camera. So this is the Livo SC500, cheap, budget-friendly action camera that we recently purchased on Amazon for a little over $30. You have your battery indicator right here, and it says there's the time here. I guess that's maybe when the camera was released. Here is the current video setting, 1080p, 30 frames per second. And you will just want to, looks like it's not a touchscreen. So let's just see if we can find the menu and the settings so that we can, sorry, there's a little bit of a glare here, my apologies. Okay, so let's just try clicking this mode button. See, it's the power button, and it's also the mode button to go to different settings. Okay, so this is the camera setting, 16 megapixels. I just don't like this, the glare and the background. Sorry, my apologies. Okay, that's better. So we have, looks like we have some kind of fast, is that a time-lapse feature? Playback, playing back the files that you've recorded. Settings. Let's look at the different settings that we have. Video resolution, we have all the way up to 4K at 30 frames per second. Then we have 2.7K at 30 frames per second. My personal favorite video setting, 1080p 60 frames per second. Let's choose that. 1080p 60 frames per second. Recording with sound, yes. Time-lapse, we're going to have it off, but you can have different time-lapse setting options right here. So we're going to just turn that off right now. Loop recording, we're going to have it off. Slow motion, that sounds very interesting. You can either have slow motion at 1080p 60 frames per second or 720p 120 frames per second. Let's just try 1080p 60 frames per second. Okay, so not that many features right here. Let's just see what these are our video features. Let's look at the photo features. See, you can have up to 16 megapixels. Driving mode, some features that we have here like Wi-Fi. Indicator light, let's turn that off, please. Screensaver, let's just turn this off as well, so that screen doesn't go dark. Auto shutdown, let's turn that off as well. Watermark, let's turn that off. So it's very easy to use so far. You can just use this button over here to go to some different, scroll through some different settings. Date and time. Sorry about the glare, my apologies. Format the memory card, we didn't do that earlier. Let's format the memory card so that we've used it previously in a different camera. That's why we want to do that. Format complete. Great. And that's pretty much it. So let's exit. So it's very easy to use this camera, I think. We have different different settings. We have 1080p 60 frames per second currently for video. But let's just go through some of the settings again just to show you what's available. So video resolution can go 1080p 60 frames per second, 4K resolution, 2.7K resolution. My personal favorite, 1080p 60 frames per second. Also, wow, a lot, 120 frames per second for 720p. Also, 120 frames per second at 720p resolution. That's pretty cool. But let's just keep it at 1080p 60 frames per second. So obviously, as you can see, we have the time-lapse feature, slow motion feature. That's very cool. Time-lapse, basically, it speeds everything up once your video is done, which makes for a very cool effect. And of course, photos and some other settings. So that's all for this unboxing video. There's really just some standard accessories that are included, but what's really going to be interesting is the second part of this video. I haven't tried this camera yet, where we look at some footage that we've recorded at different resolution settings, maybe some slow motion videos, maybe in a different video we'll do a time-lapse test. But I'm very excited to see how good I think the quality of this camera is at different settings, and I'll let you decide for yourself. It's really up to you if you think that maybe this is something worth purchasing. I'll leave that up to you. Anyways, this is the Livo, sorry, I'll pronounce it Livo SC500 action camera. We're going to show you some sample footage in the next part of this video. Videos recorded at different resolution settings, maybe 4K, 2.7K, 1080p. Maybe slow motion, take some photos as well. Should be a lot of fun. A little bit more than $30 is what we purchased it for, this camera. And it's one of many action cameras available, so just make sure to do your research so that you have a certain level of expectations. And hopefully you can find something that other people have reviewed so you can maybe feel confident when you're purchasing something that it'll have good quality, in your opinion. So it's really fun for me just to buy these and just to test them out and to see what kind of value you can get for your money. So this is the Livo SC500 action camera. In the next part of this video, we'll show you some sample videos and sample photos, and I'll let you decide if you think this is good quality. The camera is currently unavailable at the time that I'm recording this video, which was disappointing when I wanted to take a screenshot on Amazon. So if you're interested in purchasing this, hopefully it'll be available at some point in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next part of this video with the video tests. 1080p 60 frames per second video test. 1080p 60 frames per second video test. Okay, I just want to do one clip here. It's just going to be one clip, and then I'm going to... I promise. 1080p 60 frames per second video test. 1080p 60 frames per second. (1080p 60 frames per second video test with the Livo action camera. 1080p 60 frames per second video test. (1080p 60 frames per second. (1080p 60 frames per second video test.